Welcome to the HHW Show podcast. I'm Obi-Wan with Hector V. It is the hard hitting wrestling show sponsored by the CNG Sports Central. And of course, you can check us out on our website, hhwshow.com. And yes, we are live, and we're only a couple of weeks away for the Royal Rumble, and things are starting to heat up, but we're just going to narrow it down just a little bit, right? Last week we were talking about The Rock and the message he was saying about should he eat at the head of the table or sit at the head of the table. He hungry and everything else. We were talking about back and forth between him and Roman Reigns and the bloodline. But let's go to the other side on Monday Night Raw, where we have Cody Rhodes, we have CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. I mean, look, man, just them alone, but there's a lot more that's stacked on Raw that have potential of seeking for a world title. And this is what the Royal Rumble is all about. The Judgment Day. Got to talk about the Judgment Day. And then lastly, our takeaway. And during our process, we'll have between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. But Hector, welcome aboard. God, wrestling is just the segments are just getting better and better each week.
Yeah, with the new year in, we're bringing in new stuff and new people, old faces, but new stories. I'm loving it. 2024 is starting off with a big blast. I'm loving it.
Yes, and we're gonna be mentioning Rhea Ripley a lot because there's some behind the scenes that I'm just a little bit questioned. But Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax face to face, like, are we seeing the new version of Nia Jax?
Maybe so. We're looking at a whole different Nia Jax, a more aggressive Nia Jax, a more controllable, I would say, in a certain sense before what happened before. So this is a Nia Jax that the champ is going to really have to be careful with. This is not a pushover because she's already taken care of Becky Lynch. So
yeah, but Becky Lynch had some words about her going to and putting herself in entering the Royal Rumble, and her goal is to win and get back on top. She understood, and I like her phrases about, like, the last time she got punched, she was laid out and she was out. This time she got punched, but she was able to stand up. And is it because Nia Jax is getting weaker, or Becky Lynch is getting stronger? And I like that because she got back up, she's still walking. And if she could do that, she's already motivated. Like, you know what? I took a punch. Now I'm just gonna go after her or anyone else that gets in my way. But just because you took a punch, I mean, you still got pinned 1, 2, 3. You take another punch, who knows? You might get knocked out. You know what I mean? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're stronger. Maybe you just got lucky.
maybe so. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I think Nia Jax, I don't think she pulled her punches. I mean, she's still aggressive. She's showing the women's division that she is the alpha female there.
Right.
So, and Rhea Ripley better be careful because if she's not on her A game, if she's not paying attention, she could end up looking like Becky Lynch.
Absolutely. And who knows if her time is limited to her losing that title, because I'm liking the newer version of Nia Jax. I really am. But let's move forward to the other person I enjoy the most every single time, and that is no other than R-Truth. Look, man, how many people have we been across with where they want to belong in a group? Like, yo, these people are cool. I like them. And then sometimes, you be like, I don't know if this guy should be in my group or not. Like, I don't know. You should be down with us like this. But, and our truth's sake, a bet's a bet, don't you think?
You gotta honor your bet. Seriously, you gotta man up and take your losses and take your lickings of where there is. I mean, he did win, so he should be part of it. It's not like Judgment Day, said no to the stipulation.
Right.
So technically, he is a part of the member. So
Yeah.
yeah.
and Damian Priest is loving it at a certain point till until their counterparts went ahead and lost their match,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that did not suit well for the rest of the Judgment Day. But if you take a look at R Truth and his pictures, I mean, look, I thought that I was seeing a documentary of R Truth, and this documentary was like the opposite. Okay, I laughed so hard. You can see R Truth right here on this picture, wearing or carrying on over his shoulder the 24/7 belt, and it's like every picture with Judgment Day, he had a green screen it and put himself in it. Okay, um, everybody got the titles except for DM for some reason. Um, then we look at this next picture, and this is so crazy because he's like Judgment Day, but that was the old pay-per-view event from like the old school days with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. But he managed to put his face on that cover.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
That's just hilarious.
Very hilarious.
Um, the WrestleMania moment where Rhea Ripley's pointing at it, she's going to Hollywood and stuff, and there goes our truth. Like for real, like this is happening. Like he was there.
Yeah, maybe we missed something when she did point. We were so
Yeah,
focused on her pointing to the sign, we probably missed it. And he's just reminding us what really happened.
yeah. And here they are in the middle of the ring,
There we
adjusted to the
go.
crowd. Everybody got their belts, and of course, the opposite shoulder, our truth, carrying the 24/7 title. I mean, this is like beyond like okay. And Damian Priest is laughing. Everyone else is just getting mad about it. I mean, yo, you gotta have some fun, man. Put some comedy into this. You know what I mean? Like this is best for me. I mean, I'm loving this.
You know,
I
it,
love it. I love the humor.
it is hilarious, and I can't fault Judgment Day for taking it, taking things seriously. Not taking him serious because they have they have goals. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to defend their gold, and they're trying to stay on top. And they feel like he's being a distraction, which maybe he is. Maybe he's,
But if it's a well, okay, hold on for a second. You cannot always be serious and so goal driven that let's put it this way. It's okay to have a laugh.
right,
It's okay to have a good time when you're doing things.
right.
But being so serious, being so like anal about this is what I gotta do, this is it, we rule and everything else. Sometimes things don't fall in place the way it's supposed to. And
And
if
I,
you just
yeah.
sit back and relax, enjoy, and still follow your goals, I mean, eventually you're going to accomplish them.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying, but I don't think Judgment Day is seeing it that way. Their mantra is to be on top with everything that they possibly can hold on to, and they feel like our truth is being that distraction, and it
Well,
could be.
according to our truth, I mean, look, he did speak to the doctor.
Yeah, he
Okay.
did.
He
He
spoke
did,
to the
yeah.
doctor and he
Yeah.
said when he grows up, he wants to be a member of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So I believe the story, man. I really do.
You gotta believe the hype sometimes, right?
Oh man. Well, let's see if we could believe
Because
this hype
because he
because
did because he did know them since they were babies, right? They all grew up together.
oh, did I not show the babies?
No, they all grew up together.
Oh yeah. Where did I put the babies at? Man, that was
Yeah,
a beautiful picture.
yeah, yeah,
Man, it
yeah.
didn't come out.
So our truth knew them all, knew all of them
No, no,
since
no. I gotta post that picture now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean
Let me let me let me bring
that
that back.
that's something the viewers need to understand that our truth and the Judgment Day they knew each other when they were
Yeah.
growing up as kids, and you know they they did everything together. They learned how to crawl, they know how to walk together, they learned how to poop diapers together.
I don't know about that pooping together stuff, man. I mean, good lord. But yeah, you got an actual point there, man. And I got it. Here we go. Here we
There
go.
we go. Yeah, see?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, look at that, man.
Right.
First of all, that is pretty unique to
Mhm.
find pictures that come close to the Judgment Day. And if I'm not mistaken, that second picture right there, is that Rhea Ripley?
That has to be Rhea Ripley.
Which one's Rhea Ripley? The second one, right?
The one next to Finn Balor. I would think it is.
Finn Balor's the left. the far
Yes,
left.
the one with the big beard. Yeah, that
You're right.
kid.
And,
That
and
kid came out
Damian
with a full head of beard.
Damian Priest is the far right.
He has to be,
Yeah.
and
So
then
who's the third one?
it has to be Dominic, I would believe.
Mm. He don't even look Mexican.
I know, I
Oh
know.
man. And of course,
That
our truth with the mic, he's saying, "What's up?"
looking like Millie Vanilli back there.
Oh no, Millie Vanilli. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man. But listen, man. Uh it's legit that he wants to be in the judgment day, and the rest of the crew are not having it, and who knows what could happen next week after the loss that McDonough did. Um, that kind of probably going to change the narrative. Things could probably get more serious, but we'll see. But the other thing is that our truth was celebrating with the Miz after the Miz won. So it's
Right.
like this is crazy. Like you're cheering for JD, and then when the people were saying JD suck and he's just ramping the whole crowd over and over again. I'm like, oh, come on, man. But hey, on a serious note, um, whether that's legit or not, what's not legit for both of these superstar is these guys, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. They had some word exchange at the opening of Raw, and both of them. I'm leaning on CM Punk's side on this one because Drew McIntyre is trying to establish a valid point about leadership, and CM Punk is like, one, I had never called myself a leader. I did my thing. I mean, I'm the one that walked away from the business. You know what I mean? So there was some good pointers there. But for Drew McIntyre, I think it's a far stretch of him trying to find more excuses about what happened before he left WWE the first time actually he got let go. Um, and yet in reality, things went downhill personally, and his career was dragged along with it. But he came back, new and improved. He was a world champion. Two things he said correctly was one, during the pandemic, he was the champion. He made event at WrestleMania. He did everything without the crowd. The crowd is back. He doesn't have a title, and he wants that glory. Okay. And that's something that was missing. On the other side, CM Punk wants to finish the story of his own, right? He walked away after the Royal Rumble, never came back. Now he's back in the picture where he left off. So let's see what happens there. But do you agree with these two that could these two be potentially being the final four, yet maybe the final two superstars in the ring at the Royal Rumble?
I mean, CM Punk is really making us really believe it. He makes his words really believable. He's been doing that from the very beginning when he became a WWE superstar, before he left the first time, until coming back a second time here. This man, when he speaks, he makes it believable, and I could believe that these two could be one of the final. These two could be in the final four at the end of it all. I believe they can. They're going to
Mm,
get rid of everybody and every obstacle in the Royal Rumble just to get to each other, and probably save each other to get to each other. And there was something else that CM Punk said that I take it to heart, because we deal with it in everyday life. He
mhm.
said the only person that can stop him is himself. You
Correct.
know, And so to me, I feel like he was referencing back to the days when, he always put his foot in his mouth. He may have spoken the truth about things, but it was
Mhm.
his approach on how he conducted the business with his words. And so he put himself in a predicament to where people didn't like him, but they had to respect what he was saying. And so I think he had to take a step back and a reality check to figure out that, hey, what I did probably wasn't the wrong thing, but how I did it was.
Mhm.
And, he probably wasn't the right leader for Drew McIntyre to look up to. You
But
know,
why would he be? There's so many other superstars. Why was it just CM Punk? I mean, John Cena was there. Sheamus was still there. Like there was a lot of superstars there. Why narrow it down to CM Punk?
Well, it could be maybe because how he spoke, he grabbed everybody's attention, not only the crowd but the
Mhm.
locker room. He grabbed their attention, and whether it was real or it wasn't real, he made you listen to what he had to say. I mean, he grabbed John Cena's attention, and probably the only one that can handle John Cena on the mic skills,
Right.
word for word. He's probably the only one. But yeah, sometimes you gotta, if you feel like you need to find a mentor, you
Mhm.
need to go looking for the right person, not just a random person. And for him to say that he is the demon, because he said he went to Randy Orton, right, to look for mentorship, but Randy Orton said, I'm dealing with a lot of demons. And for him to
Right.
call CM Punk the demon, that's kind of a bold statement there.
Right.
I don't know. He probably wasn't the right person, the right choice to look forward to as a locker room leader, a mentor, or someone to look up to help you, you know,
I was down with
succeed.
the ice cream bars and stuff like that he was trying to point out, you
Yeah.
know. But besides that, I think I understand that when it comes to merchandises, when it comes to everything else, that in a sense they didn't do enough probably to promote everybody equally to get their shares. Right? There was a lot of favoritism, and in business, everywhere you go, there's always favoritism.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't dodge that. There's not like a go-to person or you try to do things equally. Sometimes you just know someone that's going to do the job right. So you count on that person. Look, I can trust this guy. I like his work ethic compared to somebody else. He might
Right.
get the job done, but not the way I want things run. You know what I mean? Everyone got a different flavor. And
Yeah.
that's probably why CM Punk was upset about at the very beginning, for his first run. He wasn't happy. He didn't like the direction. You know what I mean? Everyone is being catered up here, but over here, down here, everyone's busting their ass trying to work hard, right? And they're not getting anywhere. Okay. So, yeah, he was trying to be the voice, but at the same time, he had a reputation of being himself because in that business, it's business. It's not about friendship and everything else. You're supposed to do your job and get paid, and he
Yeah.
wants to get more money, and that's totally understandable.
Yeah. No, I agree. It seems like he pointed out everything that the business was doing wrong, maybe, but he wasn't, to me, giving the solutions on how he can correct the situations and help elevate himself and other superstars to be, those top merchandise sellers and the ice cream
Mhm.
bars or whatever the case may be. He was just always out there just running his mouth, and it seems like complaining, about what was going on. And that's why
I,
sometimes when he talked, they cut his mic off.
well, in a sense, you've been saying the same thing about, oh, here comes the Royal Rumble. Why these guys that's probably should be retired coming back in the ring? Why they're doing this? They're taking a spot from somebody else. CM Punk mentioned that years ago. Like, why is The Rock coming back to main event WrestleMania where I'm busting my butt off to try to get to the promised land myself? Now I can't because I'm being blocked from somebody. You know what I
And so
mean?
and
So
so
I
it's so
right.
in that case, with him leaving
Mhm.
and coming back, is that an okay excuse for him to be coming back and maybe supposedly taking somebody else's spot? Because he's been out for 10 years.
Right, but he's been wrestling still. It's not
Right,
like he was absent and then was doing nothing.
right,
I mean, he was with AEW, he was in independent scenes and everything else, the Ring of Honor. He even took the chance of doing MMA.
right,
I mean,
yeah,
can we say the same thing with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley? I mean, they left and came back, but it's different. It's
no, no,
different like
yeah,
like The Rock or John Cena. Now they have a different career path, you know what I mean? But they still sell. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? CM Punk sells.
and I'm
Rock
a
sells, John Cena sells. So like those three right there should be exempt and be like, oh, they're blocking
mm,
my path. Well, if they're blocking your path, what are you doing to make yourself better to be in that level?
Yeah, I
You
know.
see what
I
I'm
get.
saying?
I get what you're
Hmm.
saying. I feel like CM Punk's situation. I'm not trying to defend CM Punk, but I feel his
No.
situation is a little bit different than The Rock and John Cena because I've always had a problem with that. Right? You've always
Hmm.
known that. I've always voiced my opinion about you always taking somebody's spot, just like what you're saying. CM Punk said, but CM Punk coming back, I think it was one of those things that he had to leave and regroup and reorganize his thoughts, his actions, his attitudes, his way of doing business and learning, maybe being retrained on how to deal with the business the right way, and then
Hmm.
come back to the situation and say, "Hey, let's have a sit down. I feel like I'm a little more mature now. Can we resolve this issue and try to, pick up where we left off at, if all possibility?" Because I think
Right.
now he does recognize it that
I
he
think
is a different
everybody
person.
goes through that though. Everybody goes through that
Right.
in some way or form, right? You make a mistake, you make poor choices, and when you realize the things that you've done, you always wish like, can I go back and redo that over again? And of course, you can't
Right,
because it's
right.
already happened.
Exactly.
But we could learn from our mistakes and move on forward, and don't let that repeat itself.
And make it better for yourself and for everybody else around you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so, in that case, listen, we understand CM Punk's point of view, but can we understand Drew McIntyre's? Is he that denial of what he has done to himself? Because I feel like he still doesn't understand that the words that CM Punk is saying is really about him. Because, like he said, is the only one that's stopping him is himself.
Yeah.
So Drew McIntyre falls in that category because if he wasn't over his head, he could have got a clean pin and become a world champion. But instead, he's standing in the middle of the ring without a championship belt around his waist.
Right. And what kind of a validation is it going to be if he becomes champion in front of the crowd? The crowd probably not going to even like him right now, the way he's
No.
acting. And so that's not going to even be worth even being a champion at this point. Look, he did something that was very difficult to do during the COVID era, the COVID time. Okay, and I
Right.
commend him for that. You went out
Hmm.
there and won a title without the crowd. I can imagine how hard it is to, conduct business without a crowd, something that you're used to doing in a business like they're doing. And he did it without that. And I
Right.
commend him for that. But he has to get over it, dude. It was a time in our world's life that things happen, but yet you were still given the opportunity to be a champion and you became champion. Stop it already. I
Hmm.
feel like he's playing the woe is me situation and he's digging himself into a hole that he's
Don't
going to
that
wind up.
remind you of somebody else?
Mm,
Remember Christian?
yes.
One more try. Was it what was his favorite saying? Was it one more try or one more chance?
I think it's like one more chance or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And he always kept saying, but he's always bragging about me. He didn't care about nobody else. And it's always about him.
Yeah.
And again, it's okay. He's a one-man show. He wants to be in front. I get it. And it's because once you lose that match, it's hard to climb back up because everybody else is hungry to take that spot.
Right.
Right. So he's doing whatever he can. But here's a curveball for you. I'm gonna show you right here. You have Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre. Okay. And let me see what's the next. You just look at this picture here. Damian Priest is the Money in the Bank winner who still hasn't yet successfully defended it, or shall I say, cashed in. But Damian Priest's attitude of wanting to get even with Drew McIntyre seems to be eating his way. And then I'm going to go back here because Rhea Ripley's always found it a way to keep quiet or trying to minimize the situation between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Why is that? Is there something that we're missing?
It could be. I think she's trying to manipulate this whole situation. She's probably trying to find a way to get Damian Priest out and bring in Drew McIntyre in. Sometimes in life, we listen to the wrong people. We listen to the wrong voices, right? Because but at that moment, the way we're feeling, however whatever we're dealing with in life, that voice was making sense to us at that moment, and whatever she's saying is making sense to him because he's not in the right state of mind in the place that he's at right now. and I think Damian Priest sees it. I think that he sees it and he's trying to fix it or try to take care of the situation himself with.
Well, he wants to take care of the situation. He wants to get at Drew McIntyre. Rhea Ripley is not. It's avoiding, and it's supposedly whatever other stuff is happening that Rhea Ripley had to go to the general manager to fix something for next week. I'm just curious to see what that is. Okay. And Drew McIntyre really didn't like, he just called him out just a little bit, saying that he was stupid enough that he should have waited until he won,
Mhm.
because Drew McIntyre was vulnerable, that
Right.
he could have took advantage and then win the title.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, why would you give somebody an advice like that and not say, dude, why are you interfering? Like, he just wants to be the champion and don't want to get rid of that title to no one. He wants to be like Roman Reigns. Pretty much. Everybody wants to be like Roman Reigns. They want to hold that title consecutively, right?
Mhm.
Um, but there's something brewing there. And I hope it's soon and not later.
Yeah, and if Rhea Ripley doesn't get things in order, and she takes her focus off the Nia Jax and the Royal Rumble, she's gonna wind up losing that belt.
They could all be losing their
Yeah.
belts, and the last man that's probably laughing is going to be Damian Priest winning that world title after he cashes in. But then again, that's a big if.
Well, that I was thinking maybe R-Truth getting the last laugh because he could be manipulating this whole situation, trying to seeing that everybody's been failing at trying to get to the Judgment Day. Who else better to do it than him with his comical ways? And making us believe that he really wants to be with Judgment Day, but he's really slowly picking the bones and getting them, because look what happened with them on Monday. DIY beat them, right? And so
Well, it
it's
was a one-on-one match. It wasn't a tag team match. But
right,
yeah,
but
yeah,
still DIY
you
was
had Ciampa versus JD, and Ciampa came out victorious. No, I'm
no,
sorry,
he
I
beat Finn
lied.
Balor. He pinned Finn Balor.
Right, he pinned Finn Balor. Now, here's another thing. There was no distraction there.
Well, it kind of was.
In what sense?
What's his name? He was on the outside after Damian Priest went over to the table. Um,
Gargano?
Gargano, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
So it's just that I don't see
I
DIY
think
being a
those
threat.
are the little things that might add up to bigger things later down the road.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit right there. Damian Priest, you wasn't there for Finn Balor. You're getting
Right.
distracted. You're not
Yeah.
focused. You purposely
Dominic,
let him lose.
and then we don't got Dominic with a title. You got JD McDonough still running around focusing on R-Truth or the Miz. It's
Ever
just
since R-Truth came in the picture, JD has not won a match.
right. And the Judgment Day has just been dislodged every
Yeah,
single week, it seems like.
absolutely. I'm just curious to see what direction they will move forward.
Right.
I would love to see something happening at the Royal Rumble, or it could be sooner. But then again, next week, Seth freaking Rollins is defending his championship belt against Jinder Mahal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Could we see a new champion? And then if so, Seth Rollins could enter himself in the Royal Rumble. And then we could see who's the final four there, because he hates CM Punk. He could be that guy. Watch this. He could be that guy that would disrupt CM Punk for reaching to main event WrestleMania. Just
And,
saying.
yeah, and Drew McIntyre at the same time. Yeah.
But here we go. Here's another storyline: is that Seth freaking Rollins did a promo saying that he's never went to WrestleMania as a champion.
Right. Yes, he did. He did say that.
So, all right, let's move on here, because again, this one is all over social media. Bully Ray says this on the Busted Open Radio, and you tell me you agree or disagree. But he says Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble. Rock versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber. The Rock wins. Rock is your new undisputed champion. Cody versus Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. Cody pins The Rock. you now have two opponents for Cody that he never beat. He never beat Randy Orton. He never beat Roman. Come Coming out of Mania, Cody has two main event caliber opponents. Do you think that is logical? And do you think that would happen?
No, I don't think it's logical. I don't think it's gonna happen. Look, we got a lot of heavy hitters here. Okay, we got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of heavy hitters to talk about. So there's a lot of different scenarios that we can try to place here. And Bully Ray's just being one of us and trying to put the pieces together and hopefully hoping that one of us, as far as wrestling fans, is going to be
Mm-hmm.
right and say, I told you so. This is the scenario. We can come up with 1,001 different ways of how this is all going to play out. But I think at the end of the day, Roman Reigns is going to walk away from all these obstacles and still stay heavyweight champion for the time being. I mean, I'm
Right.
liking it. I'm loving it. As far as all these people. I don't like The Rock coming back. Okay, I'm not a fan of that. But look, I wasn't a fan of Edge coming back, and look what happened there.
Right.
Roman Reigns still took him down. John Cena tried to do his comeback. I didn't like that, but Roman Reigns still put him in his place. So, whether or not you like what Roman Reigns is doing as a champion, you have to respect the fact that his longevity and however he's defending it, however many times he's defending it, it's becoming successful. And we as fans, we wanted to see more. So do we want to
Mm-hmm.
see against The Rock, against Cody Rhodes? While he's fixing to be stuck in a fatal four-way match, it seems like he ain't going to get himself out of
I
that one.
think he did that by purpose.
So,
I
but
think he did that by purpose.
and I think that's protecting Randy Orton mostly than
No,
anybody
I
else.
think it's protecting Roman Reigns because a one-on-one with Randy Orton and Orton will RKO him, and that's a wrap. I
Yeah,
said it from before when he came out. I think Randy Orton is probably the one that could take him out.
and
He is the legend killer,
I'm not gonna
right?
disagree with that, but I'm not gonna agree with the fact that it's gonna happen now. So I
No,
think if that happened one
no.
on one at the Royal Rumble, he would have beaten
Hmm.
He would have beaten Randy Orton. I think he would
Yeah.
have. I think he would have.
Let me see. You mentioned something that caught an eye, and I added this bullet on the HHW show website, and you mentioned about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has defeated opponents dating back to the Royal Rumble of 2002. Okay, he defeated Triple H, Brock Lesnar. The one that you could avoid is in 2004 because Chris Benoit won that one, right? And sadly, with the tragic and everything else, he passed away. Um, he beat Bautista, Rey Mysterio, The Undertaker, John Cena. He beat Randy Orton, Edge. Did he beat Alberto Del Rio though? No,
I don't think
no, I don't think so.
that sounds
Um,
unfamiliar.
but then he beat Sheamus,
Right.
and there's a lot of repeats after that. Okay, and of course he beat Drew McIntyre. I didn't. Did he wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura? I think
That
so.
doesn't sound if he has it doesn't sound
Well, I gotta look that one up.
that one don't sound familiar, but
But the thing is that pretty much everyone that he had faced, he defeated them all, right?
right.
And
Edge.
could it be somebody different to win the Royal Rumble? Maybe we just didn't see it coming. Because Roman Reigns is not the type of person that wants to have a rematch with someone because he's like, I already beat you. So I'm always thinking about what he has been saying. It's like, why do I need to wrestle you again if I already beat you? So is
Right.
there someone out there that he hasn't beaten that have potential can win the Royal Rumble?
Well, we go back to CM Punk, but CM Punk's not focusing on Roman Reigns. He's focusing on Seth Rollins. And I mean, I see what you're saying as far as Rollins dropping that belt and entering the Royal Rumble, but that to me doesn't make sense to drop the title to somebody like Jinder Mahal. He's going into
Yeah.
WrestleMania as the champion. He's going to stay
Hmm.
champion at least to that far out. And if he's going to lose
Hmm.
it, he may lose it then, because
Right.
he's got a big target on his back also, as well as Roman Reigns. But it seems like everybody's more focusing on going after Seth Rollins than they are Roman Reigns. You know, but you're right. I mean, it is tough to pick
But that is
because
something that we're made to believe in was not the case that if Cody Rhodes do it, that he goes after Roman Reigns. He's not going after Seth Rollins
No, he's not. He's not.
because he already beat him.
Right. And you're right. I mean, I think, if I'm a champion and I already beat you, you have to get to the back of the line and earn that spot again. You can't just jump in there and think you're going to get it. Let Cody Rhodes go after AJ Styles. Let him get in the ring with Randy Orton. Have that one-on-one match, or maybe an elimination chamber match, whatever you want. But he's going to have to earn it once again if you even want to think about getting in the ring with the tribal chief once again. I'm
Mm.
just saying the Roman Reigns got a point. He's done beating everybody that he stepped in the ring with.
Well, to on that note, Roman Reigns has never defeated Shinsuke Nakamura during his championship run. He has defeated him, and the last time he wrestled was October 15th, 2021, and that was a tribute to the troops.
Hmm.
So,
Well, Shinsuke, I think he's trying to recover after what Cody Rhodes did to him in that street fight.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was bad. That was really, really bad.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
with Orton and LA Knight and AJ Styles on SmackDown, I think that's good for business. We have to make SmackDown relevant, I think, because Raw is just literally the brand that's taken over,
Mhm.
TV ratings with all the superstars you got on there. Okay,
Right,
so if you don't put the superstars on SmackDown to challenge Roman Reigns, then
right.
Roman is going to continue being champion until the end of times, pretty much the way it's going.
Mhm.
I think there has to be some kind of really truly big buildup, like we're seeing with Seth Rollins. Okay, because it's more believable that Seth Rollins is going to lose that belt before Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I can see that
It's more
happening.
believable. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Okay. Two questions. Question number one. You ready? As of right now, and of course, you're going to change your mind during the prediction show and stuff like that. Who will be your final four superstars?
I would say right now, with the way things are going, I mean, like you said, I could change it. I would say Drew McIntyre, CM Punk will be there.
Mhm.
Cody Rhodes will be there. And yeah, I know we've discussed this and you made me think long and hard about it, but I think Sami Zayn could be that wild card. Someone that we're
Mm,
not talking about, someone that you mentioned, but nobody's really talking about that's just been kind of on the sidelines, kind of quiet. So you made me a believer on that, and I could see that happening. Just to have that possibility that he could do it.
mm.
So
That reminds me, and I'm trying to do some research here at the same time.
mhm.
When has Sami Zayn? When did he lose to Roman Reigns? And the only thing I could think of, oh yeah, he did lose to him. It was in Friday Night SmackDown, December 3rd, 2021, for the Universal Championship.
Right, he gave him a
Yeah.
title shot.
Okay.
Yeah,
He made him tap out. Okay. Um, as of right now, and this is all depending on when Roman Reigns defends his title at the Royal Rumble. If it's the first event, and I'm gonna assume it is, okay. Um, I got Randy Orton in the final four. You made a stat about how many people made it to the final four. Randy Orton is the top of the list,
correct.
right?
Hmm.
And I don't think anyone will take him out. Randy Orton, LA Knight, right now, as of
Right,
right now for
right,
SmackDown.
right,
And Raw, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. But I know CM Punk is there.
right,
Okay. And when he left, he did make the final four, but Punk was the fourth one out. He was number 27 to get eliminated. Okay. So if CM Punk is in the final four, that will out Sami Zayn.
right.
And then you have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. And no, I'm not including Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre will not make the final four. I think because of his status and constantly losing,
Mm.
then he does not deserve to be in the final four. That's just me. But if he were to make it, if he would make it to the final four, then I would say that Drew McIntyre is the guy that they will eliminate him to win the Royal Rumble. I can see that happening. But
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is not winning the Royal Rumble.
No, no, definitely not. I
Mm-mm.
agree with that.
Let me see some surprises. Jay Uso is a big surprise. Jay Uso is up there, but for some odd reason, we have this guy, huge. I think he's part of the family, ain't he? Who's that big dude? Bronson Reed. Is he part of the family or
No,
no? You
no,
got no
he's not.
relations to them?
He's not part of any of
Okay.
that
I, I
bloodline.
I read something about him, like if he was to go up to join the bloodline, but I was like, I don't know if they're related or not.
No, no.
Oh,
The last time I've seen an interview with the Usos, they did not mention him in that bloodline
mm.
whatsoever. No, no cousin relation or nothing.
Matter of fact, definitely not because I can see why. His real name is Jermaine Haley. Can you believe that? And he's Australian.
I like Bronson Reed better.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
So
let's
he's
just
Australian. Yeah.
let's just leave it at that.
Okay. But he stepped up to Jey Uso. Could we see a possible future match between Jey Uso and Bronson Reed?
That would be good. That'll be
I,
good.
but again, Jey Uso's using that name, main event Uso. Could he can he main event?
I mean, y'all, you called me crazy. I think both of you and Frank called me crazy. I felt like he could be the one that takes down Roman Reigns. I mean, if he's going to use that name,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I know he's on Raw, but we always can always transition over to SmackDown. He could be that one to be the
I
new head
still
of the.
think that he will go to SmackDown. And
If
the
he,
reason being is he's gonna have to go head to head against his brother.
yeah, but I think it's good that he's away from them right now on the other on the Raw brand, so he
Mm-hmm.
can do his thing solo, by himself, one on
Right.
one, and prove to everybody that he can do it by himself. And right now he's doing it. I think he's got the crowd on his side. He's doing a
Mm-hmm.
great job on his own. And I think eventually transition him back over there, like you said, take on his brother, both his brothers, before you get to the head of the table.
Right. I'm curious to see how they're gonna do this elimination chamber also.
Right.
Or or could the storyline between Jay and Jimmy happen during the Royal Rumble?
Mm,
That they go face to face, everyone clears out, and then they go at it.
yeah.
And that will build up to the WrestleMania and with the dream match that they themselves always wanted since they were little kids.
Yeah, let's just throw Solo in the Mac too. All three brothers in
Nah,
the Royal Rumble.
nah, not
And
happening.
and Jay can give him a super kick. You get
Probably
a
the
super kick.
father will get involved, and
Yeah.
then after the match, they'll hug it out, and the Usos come back together.
Yeah.
I can see that happening because what directions are they both going? Jimmy's still in Roman Reigns' shadow.
Hmm.
Jay is finally on his own. He wants to be a champion. His goal is to be a champion. Bronson Reed is trying to block him from doing that because saying his goal is to be champion.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a champion.
Yeah. But
Now,
not everybody can hold the gold. Everybody could be a champion in their own way, but you can't
right.
hold the gold.
Jay Uso versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship sounds like a match for me.
That'd be a match in the ages right there. If you could have
Absolutely.
anybody dethrone Gunther and
Hmm.
you want somebody to take over the reins, why not?
Right. Right.
He would look good
Um,
with a solo title. He would.
let's switch it around for the Royal Rumble on the women's side of the house. Seth Rollins, excuse me, Rhea Ripley.
Whoa. Okay.
Rhea Ripley is the women's champion on Raw, and then you got Io Sky on SmackDown. Any preference as to who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble?
All right, now I mean I would think Nia Jax would be that favorite. I
Hmm.
would think she is. But if
I disagree.
okay,
I disagree. I'm gonna go for my favorite superstar. I'm gonna go for Bailey. I think Bailey winning the Royal Rumble is a better storyline. Okay, and I don't even think she's ever won the Royal
No,
Rumble.
she hasn't, and that would be awesome. I would not hate you for that at all if you was got that right. Seriously,
Right.
I think she deserves it. I
I
think
really
she
do.
deserves it.
And I think she'll turn her back on the group that she made because, yeah, she's saying, oh, I'm going to go after Rhea Ripley. But I just don't see the connection between the two because we already got the Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley in the middle of the ring.
Right.
I want that to happen. If Why else did Nia Jax defeat Becky Lynch?
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
No, I hear you.
you know, Bailey eliminates Becky Lynch.
In the final four.
Probably so. I'm loving it. Okay. Let's talk about the final four real quick. Because right now, I guess I could see Nia Jax being there, Becky Lynch. Zoe Stark seems like a promised one, but she's a tag team partner, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna cancel her out, right? Um, Let me see. Shotzi is doing good. Behind the scenes, she's on low. Charlotte Flair will be out of
Yep.
action. She's gone for the next 9 months again.
Right. Mhm.
But then you also have Bianca Belair. I gotta respect that Bianca Belair is probably the one that's going to be in the final four. So you got Bianca Belair, Bailey, Nia Jax, and Becky Lynch. Those four superstars will be in the final four. Now, if there's a Hall of Famer that comes out of nowhere, I'm gonna be very disappointed. Um,
Aren't we always every year? It seems like there's always got to be that one.
because the Hall of Famer is always gonna be that person that's gonna be in the final four. You know what I mean? I don't want that.
I
No,
don't want
stop.
it either. No, I
No.
don't either.
I don't wanna know. Okay, I can't sing, but right. Anyways,
But this whole thing with Jade Cargill, where is
mhm.
going on here? Is she gonna surprise us at the Royal Rumble?
She might be the one that takes out Bianca Belair. And of course, I'm waiting for surprises. There's so many surprises
Because
to
as
come up.
big, as strong as she looks, as big as she is, her and Nia Jax face to face will be something else
Mm.
in that ring.
Look, I know we're talking about the women's side, but there's one
Right.
thing I forgot on the men's side. Andrade. That would be a big surprise. And I would love to see him on SmackDown and join Selena Vega. Vega needs to be a manager. She was the boss. She was famed, especially during COVID. She had it made. She needs to come back. She needs to regroup and be in charge of the faction of the LWO or whatever name they want to come up with,
Yeah.
right? I think it's best for her because she was doing it with Andrade. She was doing it with um Austin Theory. Okay. Who else was over there? Um it's not Umberto, it was the other guy.
His
The one that's
partner.
always blowing kisses. Yeah.
Yeah, his partner. Yeah,
Angel
Angel
Garza.
Garza. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we missed out on that. There was a lot of changes after that. You know what I mean? So I wish that could happen, but second time of the charm usually doesn't happen that great. Um, just like we're seeing AOP again with Paul Ellering. Let's see if that's something's gonna happen. Will Paul Ellering get the boot again? Um, it's just crazy like that, right? Because he's always been in that position. What else? Yeah, I mean, I just don't see any other female superstar that could grasp it. Bailey, I think, not Bailey, Asuka will be in it, of course. But the Kabuki Warriors are focused on being tag team champions.
yeah.
But there ain't that many superstars in the women's side of the house. Now,
No,
are we going to see more NXT superstars entering the Royal Rumble?
I
Are
believe so.
we going to see like last year that they went ahead, got from a different promotion to come into the Royal Rumble? I hope not, but I'd rather see stars like from NXT to jump in that Royal Rumble and see and elevate themselves. Can they match up with the superstars in the main roster?
I would like to see Ava in that Royal Rumble.
I
That
bet you do.
that will be awesome. And go face to face, just face to face with Nia Jax. You know, eye to eye. Okay,
Mhm.
let's see what we got, fam.
Wow. Ava is more of a general manager, right? Ain't she like the assistant in the NXT for Shawn Michaels. So she
But
look
hey,
at things that differently. And then I mentioned Paul Heyman has something to do with that.
yeah, yeah. So
That's why The Rock wants to sit at the table.
he can sit at the table, but the other end of the table,
Well, I tell
and
you what,
and
I tell
respect
you
the
this right
tribal
now.
chief.
If The Rock comes back and he says something about his daughter, then I'm all in. You don't mess with my daughter. Don't mess with my kid. It had nothing to do with you. I raised my daughter. Don't give advice to my daughter. I
Yeah, I
will
mean,
use that storyline in a heartbeat.
yeah, I mean, I get that, but that's Paul Heyman, not Roman Reigns, though.
I don't care. But Paul Heyman, he's associated with Roman Reigns. Hey, Roman, you better control your man,
Oh, Roman
your
could do that.
wise man.
He'll give him another Superman punch like he's done in the past. That's not a problem. He'll put him in his place, no
I
problem.
remember that. But look, man, I think this is the year that there's a lot of talent going on for the Royal Rumble. I'm excited. This is really like ain't a Vince McMahon type of deal where we could predict who's going to be in the final four. This is hard.
Yeah.
But what makes it harder is my last question before we go.
Mm.
What number entry that will make entries that will make it to the top four? Because in our prediction, we're going to name our top four superstars and our top four numbers, like we're playing the lottery.
I got a better chance of hitting the lottery than hitting this. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
So I, I wish I had a pattern. Okay. And I'll start with the men's side of the house because when a number one wins the Royal Rumble, okay, it's always a high number that wins it the year after. For example, well, let's take it back to the very first time it happened, and that was in 1995. Uh, yeah. Shawn Michaels was number one, and he won it. Okay.
Mhm.
And on that note, number two was the runner up. Okay. The British Bulldog was the runner up. And the following year, Shawn Michaels won it, but he was number 18. The runner up was ranked number 22. Okay. Then this fast forward to Chris Benoit in 2004. He was number one. The runner up was number 24. The following year, Batista won. He was number 28, and number 25 was John Cena. Okay. Fast forward to this 2021. Edge was number one, and Randy Orton was number two. And there were the two final ones in the Royal Rumble. Edge won. The following year, Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes both were number 30. So I'm just saying, who do you think? What numbers do you think could populate and win the Royal Rumble?
I want to go think outside the box here and say that there's going to be a number that has never won it before, a number slot that's
Mm.
never won it, and because we, like you said, we've gotten a lot of multiple numbers, multiple winners at certain numbers, and so I know 20.
Well,
I know 27 has been a popular number also for some
well,
reason,
27 one. I'll tell you right now. One, two, three, four times number 27 won.
and they won it back to back. I believe the number 27 has won it back to back.
Uh
I think I want to
yes,
say
it was Yokozuna and Bret Hart,
right. So
number
that's a very popular
27.
number. So I want to think differently here. Okay,
Well,
it
the
had
first hold on. The first one to win number 27 was Big John Studd.
right, right.
Okay. Um, but I got about the numbers here. One, two, three, four, five. Number 30 has won it five times.
Okay.
Can you believe number 26 has never won?
See, so you can look at a number like that because
Number
27.
21 has never won. Number 20 never won. Let's go even to the smaller numbers. Number 4 has never won. number 6 and 7 and 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, 2021. I said that already.
Mm-hmm.
26, and that's it. Those are the numbers that have never won the Royal Rumble. Could that be the first this year? And then I
It
said
could.
to myself, well, CM Punk hasn't wrestled. See, he wrestled one time in MSG, right? Could he be number 29?
Yeah. Because I think with the men's, the number 30 has won it back to back these last 2 years.
It's not going to be number 30,
Right.
right?
No,
They
I
won
know. That's
back
what I'm
to back.
saying. Right.
Right. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, those were the big surprise. Matter of fact, Brock Lesnar came in and took over number 30 because he lost that match early. He lost the title to Bobby Lashley.
Right. And then
So,
it was a 2021, I think it was,
mm-hmm,
when Edge won as number one. And that was the year
right,
that you did the lotto numbers and everything, and I drew number one and
right.
number two, and I had Edge and Randy Orton, the first two in the
Mhm.
Royal Rumble. Yeah.
So
So
I
yeah,
want to give a before you do, I want to give a big shout out to Toby Thomas. Apologies for not catching up to the comments. Big shout out to you. Thank you for your support here in the HHW show. And also Kyle Robinson. Hey, what's up, my friend? He met him at Northeast Wrestling. We always sat each other. We had season tickets there watching all the good stuff. So what's up? I hope that we could get connected soon. We're hoping that the Northeast Wrestling comes back, hopefully in the near future. There's some big surprises coming up on that, but I won't spoil it. I'll just wait till they publish that in their website. But continue on to the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna stick with the even numbers, okay?
okay.
And I will start off with 28,
Okay.
26, 24, and 22. My final four as of right now, my final four numbers leading into the Royal Rumble.
Hmm. Okay. I like the number 23. I've always been fascinated with that number. I think Randy Orton has even won that at that number at one time. I want to go with a
It's
number
been
like,
it's been won twice so far,
and
and
I want to go with
you're right.
26. 26 has not never won it. So I want to go with a number that's never won it. I
Okay,
think there's a good chance that eventually before our time on this planet, we're gonna see every number win a Royal Rumble.
I doubt it.
Eventually. Hey, why not? If I was part of the creative team, I'd be like, look, this is a suggestion.
Hmm.
Let's pick the numbers that never won it. Let's put a
I think I
superstar
need
at
to
that
go on
number.
DraftKings and
Ah,
play the numbers. Right? What are the odds of this number winning, regardless of the superstar? But then again, if that number draws out and a certain super, you already know, oh man, he's gonna lose. Like I don't want
right.
Santino Morello to come out and be number 26.
And he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
But
Appreciate it, Kyle. Thank you.
so I said 23, 26. I'm gonna go with a low number. I'm
Okay.
gonna take a shot here at the number 7. Lucky number 7 here.
That's my lucky number.
We're gonna hit the gambling slots here and
Mm.
think that watch it be my luck, be some bogus person from NXT and
Oh man. You never know. You never
yeah.
know.
No, you're right. You're right. I
Um
mean, we get some weird numbers. We get some. So
Now
I
for the
want to.
woman's side of the house, it's kind of easy because there's plenty of numbers. Because they're going on their seventh Royal Rumble.
Right.
Their seventh Royal Rumble. And Rhea Ripley was number one and Liv Morgan was number two. A replica of the men's. Okay. And the men's side of the house has only been done one, two, three times. The ones and twos were in the final. And that number two was no other than Vince McMahon, who ousted Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
So, but other than that, just because of that pattern, I would say that whoever's number 22 on that list is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Well, the women's never had a number 30 win it.
Nope. But then again, the highest number one was number 28, and that was Becky Lynch.
Correct. That was 2019, I believe it was.
hmm
So
And
yeah.
here's another thing. Let's
Hmm.
change that up besides the numbers. You ready? Um, you have Asuka, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. Those are the only three superstars that are seeking to be the first time to win the Royal Rumble for the second
For
time.
Yeah, I know Bianca has made that already. She made that mention about that.
But
She's
she's
going to
gonna
do that.
mention that it was a wish that's not gonna come true.
Right. Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon just yet. We're gonna have a lot of future Royal Rumbles for these women. So eventually we will have a two-time winner, but it's not
hmm
gonna happen this year. Especially I think honestly with Nia Jax being in the mix of all this, Bianca and and Becky are gonna be ousted out of there. They'll hang in there quite a bit for quite some time, but
Right.
if Nia's on her A game and focused like she's supposed to, like she said she's going to be, I'm sorry, everybody's going to go flying. Everybody's going to get frequent flyer miles with American Airlines, Delta, Southwest Airline, Spirit Airline. Everybody's going to go flying everywhere. Who knows?
Mm, yeah. Well, hey, check this out. This is hilarious. My final four. Are you ready? I
Mhm.
have Bailey. I have Bianca Belair. I have Natalia in the final four.
Mm.
She's been in the final four, but never gone all the way to win anything. As a matter of fact, she's always like the out of the final four, she's the one that always leaves for some reason. Um, I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why it's always that way. Last year was Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Nikki Cross. Um, but then again, Shayna Baszler could be a possibility because she's been to the final four before.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, I know that the Bella twins were involved as well. Now they're out of the loop. So I would say Natalia is probably one. I'm missing one superstar, honestly, that I can't figure out. And maybe it is Nia Jax. Nia Jax, Natalia, Bailey, and Bianca Belair. The final four.
Okay.
But I'm
I'm
still picking Bailey to win it.
Right. No, and I would love to see that. Honestly, I would
Mhm.
love to if she's going to be in there. I would love to see her win it. I think she's deserving of that. Of her career, what she's
Mhm.
done, how accomplished she has been, winning
Right.
titles and everything like that. I think she's deserving of it. But for
No,
me,
absolutely.
I think Nia Jax. I'm taking Becky Lynch. I think Bianca Belair. But I'm going to go on a wild card here, and I think um, Zoe Starks could be there. I know you mentioned that name before,
Yeah,
but
but I mean, Zillstar deserves it. She's been on the top. She's flirted her way. She did
yeah,
lose to Rhea Ripley,
yeah, she did.
but they have different goals, and that
Right.
goal is between her and Shayna Baszler to become tag team champions.
Yeah, no, no, I get that. But just to say that you've gone that far into the Royal Rumble and fall
Mhm.
short, because I mean, I would like to see what Carl Hill's going to do, but we don't know her status.
We don't,
I mean, gosh,
and
that's
that's the
just
best thing. And we don't even know if she's going to participate the Royal
right.
Rumble.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and there's a lot of expectations, but how many times have we expected someone and then th- they were not involved,
yeah, right.
right? So yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, we got a couple of weeks away to the Royal Rumble, and we know that Tuesday beforehand we'll be making our prediction, and our show is going to be moved next week on Tuesday nights. Now that the college football playoffs is over and everything else, our show is moving over to Tuesday nights on the CMG podcast and also here on the HHW Show YouTube channel. And of course, you can always find us on the hhwshow.com for the latest news, updates, fantasies, and everything else. Tune in to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. Hector, it's been a blast once again.
Yes.
But coming up next week, we will have our fantasy Royal Rumble. And how that works is this: we're going to have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, since 2009 Royal Rumble to the present, all the final fours are listed, 30 names. And out of those 30 names, Who is the number one? Now, I'm the only one that got the answer. I had 3 votes and I wanted more, and that's okay. It didn't happen. But and it's legit. And I'm gonna do a big shout out to SCW Steve, who has his wrestling podcast over there at Canary Island over there near Italy or Spain, excuse me. And it's fun. It's very interesting. And I'll give you a hint. None of our number one picks to win the Royal Rumble in our fantasy is going to win. That is brilliant. So watch out. It's going to happen now. We're not playing video games. We're not doing none of that. But I'm definitely going to put it out there. It's going to be on video, premiered. It's not live. It's just going to show it. Then during our show, we're going to have that discussion and see, do we all agree how that worked? And of course, Hector's always going to be disappointed. Why that person should never been entry number one and stuff like that. So I know I'm going to get it. But stay tuned to the Fantasy Royal Rumble coming up sometime this week. Just tune into our website, hswshow.com, and you'll find out more about who is involved and everything else. And you'll be surprised who is the actual number one superstar to win our Fantasy Royal Rumble of 2024.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I am going to put my name in for the 2025 Royal Rumble.
2025 Royal Rumble. You're going to join our truth. All right. That is the truth. All right. All right. Like, once again, I want to say a big shout out to Kyle Robinson. He says, I'm not sure if you remember me. LOL. Of course I remember you, my friend. How would I not remember the guy that I sit next to and we always talking? Come on now. All right. And once again, Toby Thomas, thank you for supporting our HSW show podcast. Big shout out to Frank, to everybody at CMG podcast, and everybody else tuning in, supporting our show. Thank you very much. Happy New Year once again. But it's time to get ready for the Royal Rumble. Take care, everyone. Oh, yeah.
Hit it.
I have to finish the story. Shut up, bitch. Oh,